Impossible star tracks on a spherical Earth. We are told that the Earth is spherical and flies in outer space along with the Sun, while revolving around the Sun in an elliptical orbit and not forgetting to spin on its axis. They say that this is why we see the stars rotating across the firmament, but in fact it is just an optical effect. The explanation is logical, but there's a catch. And that ambush is called universal gravitation. More specifically, the influence of our satellite called the Moon on the Earth's trajectory. We are told that the gravitational influence of the Moon is such that it affects the masses of water in the oceans, resulting in tides. True, they forget to say that the Sun's influence is even greater, and the Sun must influence the tides even more. Well, let them, okay, the Sun is forgotten. But let's look from the other side. Does the Earth not influence the Moon? If the Moon moves such masses of water on the Earth, then the Earth, which is much more massive than the Moon, must also influence the masses of matter on the Moon. Even if there is no water on the Moon, but there is dust, as we are told, it must be moved by the Earth's gravity, and with much greater effect. There should be huge dust storms on the Moon, shouldn't there? Well, where are they? Have you heard anything about them? But I'm not talking about those storms. I'm talking about this. If the theory of universal gravitation is true and gravity exists, then there must inevitably be such a phenomenon as mutual deviation from the orbital motion of both the Earth and the Moon. But I'm not talking about these storms. My point is this. If the theory of universal gravitation is true and gravity exists, then such phenomenon as mutual deviation from orbital motion of the Earth and the Moon must inevitably occur. After all, the same Moon, moving around the Earth, is constantly in front of the Earth, or behind, or sideways to the right or left, conventionally speaking. This means that the trajectory of the Earth must constantly oscillate after the gravitational influence of the Moon. But, after all, the same should be done by the Earth in relation to the Moon. It should also wobble back and forth, and more strongly than the Earth. It turns out that there are two non-equilibrium systems, which are unbalanced in their essence. If you understand this point, you must inevitably ask yourself, why, then, are the star tracks of such a regular configuration? Can these tracks be so even? Are we really flying through space, experiencing the gravitational influences of the Moon, Sun, other planets, etc.? Or is the Earth still stationary, with the star dome rotating above us? Just think about this question.